Hello everybody and welcome back to my project where we're going to be trying to plant a nature area of trees and all that kind of stuff, which obviously involves cutting the grass first of all. Before we do that, I'm just going to show you this clip because I had a few people wanting to see the way I transport my compact tractor to and from different fields and stuff, and well, here you go. I use a car transporter trailer and it actually works very well, even though the tractor is still fairly narrow, but it does still fit on the two steel boards where the tyres of a car should run. So yes, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the grass. I'm going to use many different camera angles because I know in the past a few people have said, oh, can you just do some better camera angles, because at the moment you're just doing one camera angle, it's not very interesting. So I will do. Likewise, here is a close-up of the compact tractor on the trailer, obviously prior to cutting grass, and well, this is how it's done. We've got the Fleming Topper on the back, very nice topper, and it does a very good job. And you can go through some really solid stuff with it, really tough brambles. Now, one thing you'll notice in this video is I'm always wearing these gloves, and the reason for this is because I have to keep jumping off to be able to yank a load of brambles out of the front grille or out the front loader or something like that, so this is why I'm wearing them. Before going out to cut the grass, I actually received an email from somebody who was a bit concerned when I mentioned doing the topping in the winter months about wildlife, hibernation of hedgehogs and all that kind of thing, and to be fair, that is a very good point. So what I did is I did a few field walks. I checked all of the different areas where there could potentially be nests or hibernating hedgehogs, and yeah, I did that before I did any cutting at all. Thankfully, I can say I didn't find anything. So this is why I went ahead with it. Had I found something, I would have just avoided that area. Now, there are a few things you've probably noticed already in this video. Firstly, I haven't always got the skids on the ground, and the reason for this, or the topper fully on the ground, is because in some areas the ground is very soft, and sometimes I was actually floating the topper because it was actually digging in and trying to plough instead. Most of the time the topper would actually be riding on the ground. Secondly, you're probably also noticing that the grass isn't really being mulched up, it's just simply cutting it and dropping it, almost as if it was going to be baled up. So what's going to happen is, when the grass starts to grow and the weather gets a bit warmer, I'm going to get the John Deere onto here, the John Deere Rider mower, with the mulching deck, and I'm going to mulch it all up. That will allow the grass to rot and obviously put the nutrients back into the ground, and hopefully some of that nutrients will be picked up by the trees, which I'm going to be planting in the next episode, which shouldn't be too long. To tell you a bit about the topper which is being used here, it is a 4-foot Fleming topper, and it's actually an inline and a semi-offset topper. All you have to do is just move the A-frame to either the side or the centre to adjust it. At the moment it's inline, and this is because I didn't really want to have it offset, as there's quite a few obstacles within the field, such as other trees. So that is why it's like this. I may well be setting it to semi-offset in the future. I think you get a better result if it's semi-offset, because then you're not driving directly over where you're cutting, although with something this small it's not going to make a huge difference. Something you may know as well is you have to be extremely vigilant when doing this kind of job, especially if you haven't cut the field before. If you're new to the field, which I am to this field, I've never cut it before, you do have to look out for various different obstacles which could go under the blades and potentially damage the machine. Here is a perfect example of one of the things. What we just experienced there was a massive coil of wire. Well, I say massive in respect to the size of this machine, which did take me a while to undo. And it actually happened twice. So it's one of the setbacks of doing this, but over the entire field, there was only 2 issues, so it could have gone much worse. But there it is. The field is cut. So, yeah, as you can see, there's many large areas, large sections of grass still on the top, on the surface. It needs to be mulched down, and this will be done in the coming weeks, hopefully. But this is certainly a step in the right direction, because before it was extremely long, and it really did need to be cut to get the growth going. Although the weather we're getting at the moment is pretty cold, so there's not going to be much growth in the grass. Here is a different angle of the field which has been cut, and actually somehow I have managed to discover a load of snowdrops growing in some brambles. Now before I finish totally, I would like to show you this clip which I recorded, and basically it's trying to pick up half a ton of pots, which you'll probably remember. So let's see if the Massey Ferguson 1525 can do it. It doesn't even have a rear weight on, so this is going to be quite an interesting test. One thing you'll notice is I'm very slow, because if I go too fast, they're all going to tumble off. Well, the good news is it certainly can pick it up, but it is pretty much on its limit without a rear weight. And some people might say, well, is that really half a ton? And I would also argue that fact, that point. It really does not look like half a ton, but the fact of the matter is, it pretty much is. So, yeah, looks can be deceiving. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with some unedited footage of a bit more mowing, some longer pieces, some brambles and stuff, but that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for the next episode of my project. I haven't actually named it, but yeah, it is the Tree Planting Nature Project Thingy by Daggerwin. Yeah, okay, that'll do. See you again soon. Bye for now.